Eula said that this was her own decision. She really hates Ellie. That woman even said that I bought Gouda with money. I hate the sight of her. Junwoo tells his sister to hurry up and get a divorce. Eula thinks her brother has gone crazy. The stepmother also thinks he has gone crazy over a woman. What kind of brother tells his sister to get a divorce? The stepmother says even if Eula and Gouda divorce, she will never agree to Ellie entering the family. She will never let go of the woman who caused her daughter to divorce. Gouda says smugly that this is advice. You also know how my mother-in-law is. Eula asks her husband if there is something he is hiding from her. Gouda said innocently that his true heart is visible to heaven. Without getting an answer, Eula had to pretend to sleep. She also felt that her brother seemed to be saying something. Gouda, who was scared, found Ellie again, and asked her what she had to do to let her go. Ellie said that Junwoo took her to worship his deceased elder brother. She heard that her elder brother suspected that you were a married man when he was alive, but for some reason, he died an unnatural death. Gouda, who heard this, was almost scared to death, and told Ellie not to play any tricks. This scene happened to be seen by Eula, looking at the two people arguing in front of her. Eula angrily walked over and asked them what they were doing. Scared, Gouda quickly let go of Ellie. Eula asked her husband if he knew this woman. Otherwise, why did she seem so familiar? Ellie immediately answered that she and Gouda had known each other for a long time. Eula asked Ellie what her relationship with Gouda really was. Ellie lied and said that the man was her best friend's boyfriend. But because of you, my best friend dumped him. Eula felt that Ellie came to the company to avenge her friend, and Ellie did not deny this. When Eula returned to the office, she was almost outraged. Eula's father called everyone to his house. He was very satisfied with Ellie's handling of the color of the design, and also decided to discipline Eula and his wife, who had set Ellie up and put the company's interests behind their backs, and removed them from their positions. This made Eula's mother almost faint, no matter how she begged. The chairman didn't want them to manage the company again as they couldn't distinguish between public and private matters. Eula told Ellie that they would never let them go. Gouda was also shaking with anger, but there was nothing he could do. The couple could only vent in their room. Eula went to Ellie's house to find her. She warned Ellie not to be so arrogant. You are only a friend of a woman Gouda has dated. I'm the one who shares his bed and food. She told Ellie to get her priorities straight. Ellie told her not to be overconfident. Gouda will abandon you just as easily as he abandoned the other woman. Eula was so angry that she wanted to slap her again. The two of them had a fierce argument over this. Ellie's mother heard the commotion and came out. When she saw Eula, she immediately remembered the woman that Gouda cheated on her with at the office that night. But Eula didn't care about Ellie's mother. The two were too busy arguing to see that Eula was about to slap her again. Ellie's mother could no longer hold back and stopped her. Ta asked Eula if she had cheated on Gouda in the office that night. Eula remembered at this time. It turned out to be the aunt who had pushed the door in at that time. But the agitated mother had already been pulled home by Ellie. She explained to her mother that she had not negotiated with Eula. She only said that Gouda's ex-girlfriend was her best friend. Her mother really couldn't understand why her daughter had done this. An angry Eula went home to question Gouda about Ellie's relationship with him. Gouda also said that she was the ex-girlfriend's best friend. Eula tried to ask Ellie if she was the ex. Gouda of course denied it. Eula said that she had seen Ellie's mother. It was the auntie we bumped into at the office that night. Hearing this, Gouda still tried to argue. He said that Ellie's family and the ex's family knew each other, and the two families were very close. Eula asked again if the eldest brother knew anything at the time. Gouda was almost scared to death when he heard this. I was even suspended from work for you, and now you're still doubting me? At this time, Eula's mother walked in. She told her daughter to go over and apologize to the chairman's father. But how could the arrogant Eula agree to that? Gouda said that he could apologize himself. He went over and knelt in front of his father-in-law. He said that it didn't matter what punishment he received, but he didn't want to see Eula get suspended. The chairman told them that they must apologize to Ellie. Gouda had no choice but to apologize to his ex-wife, hoping that she would forgive him and Eula. Gouda was furious when he returned to the office. Lucy called her mother to complain. She said that the chairman had told her brother and sister-in-law to apologize at the company. If things continued like this, she would have no face left to stay at the company. Gouda's mother said that she would not let them push her around. She quickly made an appointment with Ellie's mother to ask what they wanted. What was the purpose of making Ellie seduce Junwoo? Ellie's mother said that they were each other's first love, and they broke up for some reason at that time. But Gouda's mother thought that Ellie was seeking revenge on her son. Ellie's mother asked her what she could do even if that was the case. The naive Gouda's mother asked her to quickly persuade her daughter to break up. Ellie's mother said that she would not stop, and told her not to make unnecessary threats. If you continue like this, I will directly tell the truth and let your son go straight to hell. Gouda's mother was scared only then. Junwoo went to Ellie's house for dinner and kept praising Ellie's mother for her delicious cooking. Anzu lamented that Gouda had never eaten here before. Everyone felt a little embarrassed when they heard this. Junwoo explained that the company was organizing a trip to the research institute the next day. His sister-in-law was excited and said that they could spend some time alone together. Soon the group arrived at their destination. When it was time to assign rooms, Eula surprisingly said that she wanted to share a room with Ellie. This made everyone very confused. Eula said that there were no husbands and wives. Only colleagues. Guda quickly asked his sister to stop them from living together. Lucy asked his sister-in-law to live with him, which would be more convenient. But Eula said it was fine for her to live with Ellie. After dinner, she saw Ellie and Junwoo walking out. Guda followed them quietly. Seeing the woman he once loved cuddling with another man, Guda felt very uncomfortable. Eula in the room wanted to look through Ellie's phone to find out about Guda's so-called ex-girlfriend. At this time, Guda's mother called. Seeing that it was Guda's mother, Eula picked up the phone out of curiosity and realized that her mother-in-law also knew Ellie. She really couldn't figure out how they knew each other. In order to find out the truth, she began to rummage through Ellie's bag and found a USB drive in it. Eula took the opportunity to put it in her pocket. When she saw Ellie come in, she pretended to be unconcerned. Early the next morning, the group began hiking. Junwoo thoughtfully took off his gloves and gave them to Ellie. The Gaudas behind them found this very awkward to watch. Eula asked Guda to give him his ex-girlfriend's number. He said he would meet her as soon as he got back. Guda couldn't understand why his wife suddenly behaved like this, but the arrogant Eula didn't care. Ellie came back and told Guda to hurry up. Guda took the opportunity to ask her if she had said anything to Eula. Ellie told him that Eula had looked at his phone and found all the text messages you had sent, and even the ultrasound photos of her when she was pregnant. Hearing this, Guda was almost scared to death. He took Ellie and walked towards the woods. Guda told her to hand over her phone and delete all the messages, but Ellie refused to do so. Guda saw that she was unwilling, so he started to use force. In the struggle, Ellie slipped and fell. As he watched Ellie roll down the hill, Guda couldn't help but think of the time he pushed Eula's brother downstairs. This scared him a lot. Nervous, he ran down to see the injured Ellie. He said he was going to carry her back up, but the angry Ellie didn't want him to touch her. She was helpless, too injured to stand up. After Guda's persuasion, she had to climb onto his back. The crowd waited a long time to see them return, and searched all over the mountain. Guda had been wandering around with Ellie on his back for a long time, and seemed to have lost his way. As night fell, the two still hadn't found their way back. Ellie finally couldn't hold on anymore and fainted. Guda had to carry her in the dark and search for the way back. Just as everyone was about to call the police, Guda staggered back with Ellie on his shoulders, but his first words were to tell them to hurry and call an ambulance. Unconscious, Ellie was taken to the hospital. Junwoo told everyone to go back and rest, and he would stay and take care of it. Eula asked her husband what had happened to the two of them. Guda said they had met by chance, but Eula didn't seem to believe him. When he saw his wife leave, he took out Ellie's phone and quickly deleted the chat history and photos. Back in his room, Guda was still distracted. He couldn't calm down for a long time, thinking about the injured Ellie. After thinking it over, he decided to go to the hospital to take a look. This scene happened to be seen by Eula. At the hospital, Ellie, who had just woken up, wanted to go back to work, but Junwoo said no matter what, she had to rest in the hospital, and told her that she must rest in the hospital. He said that when he saw her faint on Guda's back, he almost broke down. He asked Ellie if she understood his feelings. Of course Ellie knew what he meant. The two of them expressed their deep feelings for each other. Junwoo said that no matter what, he loved her deeply. He told Ellie not to worry. Even if the whole world opposes me, I will still choose to be with you. Let Ellie boldly do what she wants to do. I will definitely unconditionally support you and help you. Any woman would be moved to hear this. The two of them were so in love that they started nibbling on each other. This scene happened to be seen by Guda, who had just come in. He stumbled out, although it was a woman he had abandoned. Seeing her with someone else caused him such pain. All of this was seen by Eula. Ellie discovered that Guda had deleted all the data on her phone. Guda's mother received a call from her daughter saying that Junwoo and Ellie had spent the night together. She hurriedly found Ellie's mother and said that Ellie had seduced Junwoo. She took out a contract that Ellie had written before, and told Ellie to keep her promise and not to reveal Guda. Ellie's mother angrily threw it back, and the two almost fought over it. In the end, Guda's mother was directly kicked out of the house. At this time, Eula's mother also rushed over. It turned out that the three were former classmates. Guda's mother was almost scared to death. When did these two get in touch again? If this continues, won't it soon be revealed that her son and Ellie were once husband and wife? The next day, Guda was kicked out of his room by his wife. With no choice, he went to the study room with a pillow in his arms. When Eula woke up, she found her husband was not beside her. She asked her mother if Guda had left early in the morning. Her mother said she saw him in the study room last night, but Eula said he was not in the study room and had not returned to his room. It turned out that Guda had run back to his own home. Guda's mother nearly died of anger when she heard that her son had been thrown out. She told her son not to go back. How dare he throw his husband out of the house? She said she would not let him go back until Eula came and begged him to go back. Eula learned that Guda had run back to his own home. His mother sighed, saying that Guda really was not magnanimous. He ran back to his own home over a trivial matter. His father told Eula to apologize to Guda. No matter what, you cannot throw someone out of the house. But his mother felt that she could not pamper her son-in-law. Eula asks her husband if he is showing her up. Guda doesn't want to explain too much. Eula, as a woman, won't let it go. Gouda says she is like a suspicious husband. Eula just wants to explain why she is like that, but she is interrupted. Gouda admits that Ellie is his ex-girlfriend's best friend. Eula asks him to put himself in her shoes, but Gouda says she is like a resentful woman. If she is so unhappy, they can just separate. Eula couldn't believe he had said that. The chairman's father told Eula and Ellie to compete fairly, to design the president's shoes and see who would win. Ellie found Eula and asked her to return the USB drive. How could Eula admit that? The two almost fought over it. Gouda told Ellie to give up on this design. Ellie didn't understand why. Gouda said he didn't want you to be humiliated and thrown out. Ellie almost died of laughter when she heard it. Since when did you start worrying about me? Gouda threatened her that she would regret it if she didn't give up. But Ellie, who was determined to take revenge, didn't care. Seeing that her colleagues in the design department were rushing to a meeting, Ellie hurried over there as well. However, Eula directly called her out and said that her design team did not need her. This was blatant rejection. She briefly said that she would be in charge of this project. After the meeting, Eula kept Lucy behind and told her to copy the designs on Ellie's USB drive. No matter which design Ellie chooses, she will make her copy it. Then she will find a way to frame Ellie for plagiarism. Eula promises Lucy a position if the plan succeeds. Ellie and Junu can't find any resources to help their team. Eula has removed all the resources. Luckily, Ellie has made thorough preparations. Eula's mother asks Gouda's mother what she was doing at Ellie's house that day. You've always looked down on her, haven't you? This question almost scared Gouda's mother to death. She was afraid that her son's past as her daughter-in-law's husband would be discovered. At this time, Ellie's mother called Eula's mother to arrange a meeting for dinner. Gouda's mother was so scared that she almost died where she stood when she heard this. Gouda threatened Ellie to leave quickly or else don't blame him for being rude. Ellie told him to understand the current situation, while the two were arguing heatedly. The police came again. They said that there was new evidence in Eula's brother's murder case. The policeman, who didn't know that they had divorced, also asked Gouda why his wife was here today. The guilty conscience-ridden Gouda heard this and hurriedly pulled Ellie away. It turned out that the police had found the deceased brother's mobile phone and said that all the data in it had been recovered. Junu was very happy to hear this. This almost scared Gouda to death, who was eavesdropping outside the door. He was worried that there might be something in the phone that would be detrimental to him. Eula came over and asked Gouda to go home with her, but Gouda's mother-in-law felt that Eula had done something wrong first. Gouda said that he would temporarily stay at his own home. Eula couldn't believe her ears when she heard this. I came to pick you up. What more do you want? The old woman was almost outraged. How dare you yell at my son in front of me? Because of this, she and Eula had a fight. The assertive Gouda stopped them both. He told Eula to go home by herself. Ellie learned from Junu that Gouda was also a suspect in her brother's fall. Ellie was very surprised to hear this. After finishing work, she said she wanted to go to the scene of the crime to take a look. Junu took Ellie to the place where her brother had an accident. Ellie looked at all this and thought about following Gouda here at the time, and seeing him run into that building. At this moment, Ellie seemed to have thought of something. Gouda, who was annoyed, drank and thought about what the police said, that they had found new evidence. This made him, who had done something bad, feel frightened and uneasy. Junu told Ellie that the police had found Big Brother's phone. Big Brother was used to keeping important information on his phone before he died. It is believed that it will be of great help after it is repaired. Ellie always felt that something was wrong. Gouda, who had learned the situation, pulled Ellie and asked what she had told Junu. Ellie asked him if the last time he helped you make a fake ID was the case of Junu's brother. Gouda was almost scared to death when he heard this, but of course he would not admit it. Ellie said she would confirm this with the police. Scared, Gouda quickly pulled her. Coincidentally, this scene was just witnessed by Eula, who had just come in. She angrily asked what the two of you were up to. Gouda's mother falsely accused Ellie's mother in front of Eula's mother of borrowing money from her classmates. She approached you probably because she is after your money. Eula's mother felt that Ellie's mother was not like what you said. Gouda's mother told her that she better be on guard. At this time, the aunt said that there was a guest at home. Unexpectedly, the person who came was just Ellie's mother. Gouda's mother was so scared that she wanted to quickly leave this place of trouble, but Ellie's mother immediately stopped her, asking if she had done something to deserve her misfortune. Gouda mum, of course, could not admit that she quickly asked Eula mum if she knew they were related. Eula mum said she had never mentioned it to anyone. This was the most humiliating thing she had ever experienced. Gouda mum was very happy to hear this, but during the meal, she was still so scared that she could hardly hold her chopsticks steady. Eula mum asked Ellie mum if her eldest daughter was divorced. Gouda mum nearly choked on her food when she heard this. Ellie's mother said that her son-in-law had cheated on her with another woman and got married. She was afraid that we would tell everyone about the scandal, so she made us sign a contract, that if we didn't keep our word, she would never let us off the hook. Eula's mother bluntly asked how there could be such a scumbag. Ellie's mother asked Gouda's mother what she thought would be a good punishment for such a scumbag. This stumped the person involved. Gouda was overjoyed to learn that Eula was pregnant. This scene happened to be seen by Ellie, who had just come in. Seeing Guda's happy face, and Lucy's face, she even told everyone loudly that her sister-in-law was pregnant. But this made Ellie think of when she was pregnant, in the in-laws' house. She still served the whole family every day doing endless household